Good morning. This is Scott with Second and 01 Canine Life Coaching. Good morning, Hunter. Good morning, Barney. Good morning, Belle. I'm just going to make a video because I've only got these three. What's interesting, he's closer, a little bit looser body language. Hunter was actually playing just a little bit. I was trying to record a video of myself. It's just really interesting. I went to a conference this weekend with Michael Shikasio. I probably said the name wrong. Terry McMillan. I probably said her name wrong too. But they're all got abbreviations behind their name. They're all fantastic trainers. People that showed up, which was very interesting. They all came in. It was mostly trainers and established people. I mean, I got to see Fenzi. I got to see Milena with the separation anxiety. I'm gonna screw up her last name, so I'm not even gonna say it. I saw like people I recognized from all over the place. I can't remember their names, but it was a symposium or a workshop full of dog trainers. That was pretty damn cool, honestly. So it wasn't just average people, it was people that knew behavior, knew what to look for. And there was one thing that was really interesting. Once you start realizing all the stuff about dog behaviors and what gets them trigger stacked and what their needs are, you start noticing with people too. Somebody came up and talked to Michael in the very back of the room while Trish was talking, and you can see that bothered Trish. You could see her get trigger stacked. And then she tried to calm herself. She self-regulated. She did her own version of conflict resolution because she knew there was a bigger picture. She wasn't trying to change the way she felt about it. She wasn't trying to change how she was trying to change her behaviors about it, but she wasn't changing her emotional state. Go play. Go play. So that was funny. She was changing her breathing, which is very important. She was changing what she was focusing on, which is very important, which is basically this exact same thing I teach with the people, and a lot of us do anyways. It's just funny to see it. Not funny, it wasn't funny, but it was really cool to see it happen in real life. And the other cool part was when everybody else started noticing, they picked up on her trigger stacking and her feeling uncomfortable, and then everybody started to look to see what it was because she made it obvious. She was looking back to the back of the room, and she saw somebody talking a little too loud, but that's okay. Trish handled it like a champ. She had to focus on the group. She had to get to Australia. She knew she was on a time crunch. Speaking of crunch, Hunter, you want to go play? Thank you. Thank you. Ready? So she was a little trigger stacked, but she did a great presentation. She actually applied Yock's work. She discussed shelter dogs being more beneficial to play in play groups than being isolated. Isolation leads to mental illnesses, just like with people. You know whose work that is? Yock Panskep that discovered what leads to depression. Dan Siegel that actually discusses how to get away from depression. So does Yock, because they discovered the emotional systems. And so it was cool to see everything that I'm working on, even though I'm watching these people that deal with behavior, focus on how to change their mindset, but actually understand that mental illnesses is because of isolation. Not because, but one of the things that leads to mental illnesses in dogs and people is isolation. When you start getting dogs into play groups, so you start getting them to be socialized, not necessarily with these guys, like this, in play groups, which she recommends she can do because she studied dog behaviors and studies how dogs play and studies how dogs interact. That's different. This is what I do as well. I'm trained under play groups. I've done play groups most of my life, most of my adult life. So you give me dogs that need to be socialized, I'll tell you how, which dogs are great with it, what to look for, how to prevent it, what dogs are telling you to do that they're trying to prevent it. That's most important. How were dogs trying to prevent it? Not what are you going to do to prevent it, but what you can do to step in before and after, so you don't have to micromanage every single play group. They can do their own little thing. You just want my cookies. You just want my cookies. And how they're going to tell you how they want to interact. She wants cookies, but she's going to be like, no, okay, I'll play with Dad. Because if I play with Dad for a little bit, then he'll start giving me cookies. And see, nope, I don't want to play. I want cookies. Well, go play. I'll chase you. You want me to get you? You just want my cookies. Go get Hunter. Hunter, let's go get Hunter. Let's go get Hunter. Hunter came in to want to chase. Zoomies, go! Go! You just lunged at me. You just lunged at me. So even with this heightened state of arousal with him there, okay, ready? Time out. They both did a good thing. She can play around other dogs. Hold on, stop. Thank you, Belle. Did you not eat breakfast this morning? Thank you, Barney. Thank you, Hunter. So when I have my groups, I can divide things up evenly. Here, ready? Rah! Get out of here! Rah! 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 Let's go. Okay, stop. Time out. Thank you, Barney. So now he feels I say stop, time out. He knows it's safer to come over. Thank you, Barney. Thank you, Belle. Thank you, Hunter. Okay, we're going to rest. Let's go for a walk. Because she's 13 going on 14 in 2 months. Hunter's got signs that he needs to go take a break. But she's not going to do. He's going to find something else to do. And Barney hasn't gotten much attention from me. Give me that butt. Give me that butt. Give me that butt. Oh, give me that butt. Barney and I will play together and we can cuddle together. So interaction and engagement. He got your butt. Wait, everybody time out. My glass collecting tree. We'll come back in 20 years, see what happens. Somewhere there's a bottle, and I haven't found all of it. I've just found pieces. Okay, let's go. Let's go over here. Roar! So back to what I was saying. Affective neuroscience is actually applied in everything that you do. You can't help it because the brain works the way it's supposed to work with every mammal. These guys will show you and figure it out how he avoids situations he's not comfortable with or actually decides to join when he's been nervous. This play helps with cognitive function, helps with problem-solving abilities. That's why you don't really see brutal fights in play. You see brutal fights when it comes to people handling dogs. All my years in doggy daycares, I have never had that brutal fight. If the dogs have had a brutal fight, it's because nobody's paying attention to their needs. Nobody's paying attention to their form of communication. When they play, you increase forms of communication between the dogs and between the people. It is so much easier to watch dogs play and learn what everything is subconsciously than watching them play, than watching them fight and then figuring out what their triggers are. Because you're going to be so worried about their triggers that when you don't see them playing, that when you see they're playing, you're not going to know what to do because it looks totally different. The behaviors really aren't, it's just certain things change. If your dog can't avoid, play with them. If your dog can't back away, engage with them. When they're actually playing, and you actually play with them in groups, Belle, out please. Thank you. They're more than likely to listen to you and feel safe with you. So through all this stuff, all this touching, and all this chasing, we are releasing oxytocins, and we're releasing chemicals for the body to actually want to bond. If we're releasing chemicals to make the body actually want to bond, it's not just between us, but it's between all of us, because they're also watching to see how they fit in, how they can get their needs met, and what else they can do to get their needs met. Thank you. Thank you. Belle. Thank you. You want to help me find the balls, please? So this is Scott with Second and 01 Canine Life Coaching. Just want to say that this weekend was great to understand how other trainers think, see how they've actually gone through a lot of stuff. Thank you, Hunter. He found one. And how affective neuroscience is actually coming along in the world of behaviorism. Whether they realize it or not, or whether they just didn't want to admit it and they know it, they quote a Jock Panskep as far as loneliness, which we know in humans creates depression, isolation, leads to loneliness, leads to depression. Then you start needing medication. We also need a behavior program, behavior modification, or therapy. We don't do therapy with dogs yet. That's coming up soon, I promise. Give it 5 to 10 more years. Dogs will be laying on a couch figuring out what they need. But they're always telling us what they need. We just need to pay attention better. So that's why I always reward behaviors I want repeated. Help the dogs feel safe to want to communicate behaviors they want, things they need. Thank you, Belle. Thank you, Hunter. Barney. Thank you, Hunter. So help them feel safe. This is what I'm going to bring to the world. We're going to feel safe so she can laugh with other dogs. And yes, laughter is real in dogs. We're studying it a little bit more. How they can actually want to feel safe enough to play and not act out or isolate themselves. But when they do isolate themselves, they watch. They're always watching, taking in their environment to see how it's going to be beneficial to them. If you really want to think about it, dogs are selfish as all get out. How can they get what they want? He wants to run. Who's going to read that? Thought I was kidding? Good, leave it, Belle. Reward behaviors that naturally happen or they choose to make happen. Be a part of it. Interact, engage, reward behaviors you want repeated. Help them feel safe, let them self-express. Lamb, look at me, buddy. Teach them they actually want to interact. Oh, you almost got it. Oh, you almost got it. Oh, you almost got it. Slow down. I get you. I get that butt. I get that butt. And then play, interact, engage. You want to cuddle? Thank you. Talk to your dog. Belle, stop. Barney, come here. We'll do it over here. So you can teach your dog that they don't have to interact with you the whole time. You can do stuff with other dogs too. Help them feel safe. They'll see you can handle the situation. Come here. Belle, stop. Good boy. Thank you. You have a lump under your jaw. I gotta talk to your mommy about that. So when they actually, after playing, you can do a lot more touching to see how they actually enjoy stuff. Thank you. Because they're happier. Their brains feel better. But Yak is also proven with play, after about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the brain chemistry changes. Then you start getting your bullying. Well, everybody will tell you with bullying, the kids' needs aren't met. Your playground bully, they don't feel safe somewhere, so they're acting out. Same thing with dogs. If they're bullying, one of their needs are not met. That's usually water. That's usually rest. That ruins your social interaction. And the brain, affective and social neuroscience discusses why. This is Scott with Second and 01 Canine Life Coaching. Look them up. Yak Panskep. Look up Dan Siegel. Look up Michael Shikasio. Look up Trish McMillan, and you'll understand more about behaviors and how all this stuff works together. Look up my stuff. Hell, Doggy650. You'll see how everything works together. You almost got him. Good girl. Whoa. Go get the ball. See, right now, everybody, now that we've relaxed, she's got more double lines on her face. He's getting some double lines on his face. Hunter's avoiding and chewing on something. That's how I know he needs something else. So we're done. See how much little bit of interaction? If I start pushing them to play more, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to get my bullying situations. Bullying is about their needs not being met. Not just socially, but they don't feel safe somewhere. Thank you, Belle. You got it. Thank you, Barney. So this is Scott with Second and 01 Canine Life Coaching for like the 15th time. We're going to walk back, get some water, and take a little bit more of a walk because it's just us three today. And it makes it a lot easier that we can just bond and relax and feel safe. All right, let's go, you guys. Let's go get some water. Communicate, reward behaviors you want repeated. Help them feel safe. That's what I'm going to help bring, is how to actually help your dog feel safe. Have a great day. Bye, Hunter. I'm leaving. You ready, Barney? We don't need him. See, he's coming.